mission commander Jared Rook-Isaacman also served as the commander of Inspiration 4, the world's first all-civilian mission to space. Jared holds several world records, including 2 speed around the world flights in 2008 and 2009 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He has flown in over 100 air shows as part of the Black Diamond Jet team, dedicating every performance to charitable causes. In 2011, Jared co-founded what would become the world's largest private air force, Draken International, and that trains pilots for the U.S. Armed Forces. In addition to his role as CEO of Shift 4, Jared is an accomplished pilot and astronaut with over 7,000 flight hours.
Next up, mission pilot Scott Kid Poteet, who served as the mission director of Inspiration 4, and he goes by the nickname Kid, which is also his call sign. He's a retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. Kid served for 20 years in roles that included commander of the 64th Aggressor Squadron, Thunderbird No. 4 demonstration pilot, U.S. Air Force Weapons School graduate, operational test and evaluation pilot, and flight examiner. He's a command pilot with over 3,200 flying hours, logged over 400 hours of combat time, and following his Air Force career, Kid served in various roles, including Vice President of Strategy at Shift 4.
Mission Specialist Sarah Cooper Gillis is a lead space operations engineer here at SpaceX, and she's responsible for overseeing our astronaut training program. She helped prepare NASA astronauts for the Demo 2 and Crew 1 missions, and most recently directly trained the Inspiration 4 astronauts. Sarah is an experienced mission control operator who has supported real-time operations for Dragon's cargo resupply missions to and from the International Space Station as navigation officer and as a crew communicator for Dragon's human spaceflight missions. In 2015, while studying at the University of Colorado Boulder, Sarah started an internship at SpaceX before moving into the astronaut training program full-time.
And capping off the Polaris Dawn crew, mission specialist and medical officer Anna Walker-Menon, who serves as a lead space operations engineer here at SpaceX, where she manages the development of crew operations and works in mission control as both a mission director and crew communicator. During her time at SpaceX, Anna has led the implementation of Dragon's crew capabilities and developed critical operational responses to vehicle emergencies. Prior to SpaceX, Anna worked for 7 years at NASA as a biomedical flight controller for the International Space Station. She received her bachelor's degree in mathematics and Spanish from Texas Christian University and her master's degree in biomedical engineering from Duke University. Everyone on this mission certainly has the background, the qualifications you would want in your crewmates when you're going to space. That's clear. But let's take a moment now to meet our Polaris Dawn crew in their own words.
Hi, I'm Jared Isaacman.
I'm Scott Kid Poteet.
I'm Sarah Gillis. And I'm Anna Menon.
And we're the Polaris Dawn crew. I love this crew. I mean, all of them are just so hardworking, so smart. Kid Poteet over here is our mission pilot. Talk about a career in the Air Force, doing every job as a pilot that anyone would aspire to achieve. And having somebody who has been there before and can bring that perspective to our training, but also when we're on the mission is just so important.
We are what we are as a crew because of you. You hold us together and you are always there.
Glue.
Glue. You are always there predicting what every person needs.
And he's needy.
What?
Our commander, Jared, I think he is incredibly sharp.
That's right.
Something I have just witnessed over and over is that he's always like 5 steps ahead of everybody else.
He's a visionary. He wanted to make it bigger than just himself going to space. It was about how we could contribute and support organizations here on Earth, as well as continue to push the envelope for space exploration.
So Sarah Gillis, the technical competence, we don't get out of any engineering update or brief or go through a procedure or debrief without getting into the weeds and making sure every T is crossed, every I is dotted.
She holds my feet to the fire when we need to understand the systems and the operations. It's her intellect.
Every time she speaks, every word is so thoughtfully prepared that served her in her role as core. It served her in her role as a trainer.
Anna, You have this incredible joy that you bring to everyday life. It is infectious. It makes us all smile.
Feels like she always has this big picture. Doesn't necessarily always speak up on it, but when she does, like time for everybody to stop and listen. And then as a biomedical engineer and a background like that inspires like a ton of confidence that we go up there if people aren't feeling right, that she's going to be there to take care of her.
I cherish all the moments that we've had in these experiences, and we're just so excited to go to space.
Live, and I spell it L, and then an apostrophe mark. Exclamation mark. I can tell you anything about space, from the miles from Earth to the sun to every mission, basically. I had cancer in 2021, cancer survivor like Haley. I really have a passion for wanting to help St. Jude and other kids who have those struggles as I had.
So I first met Liv a couple days after I got back from space at our splashdown party, and I got to meet her family, and they told me about her journey that she was on. I remember that she gave me a card she had written, and it said, "Thank you for helping other kids with cancer like me. I hope to go to space like you someday." And my eyes just filled with tears whenever I read that.
Basically, my one passion is to be the first child in space.
Liv was really close with the Polaris Dawn crew, and they asked her to design the zero-G indicator.
A zero-G indicator is like a little plush toy that floats in the air. It basically shows that you're in zero-G. They kind of hide it over in the corner, and then once you hit zero-G, it'll float up and reveal. My main idea for Asteroid is based on Elon's dog, Loki. I've always loved Shibas. They've always been really cute. And then when I heard Elon got Loki, I was like, done. I love her. I want Asteroid to be for every child and help them see, oh, Asteroid went to space. And I can too. I can achieve my dreams.
An EVA suit is an extravehicular activity suit, which is a spacesuit that can go outside of the spacecraft to do a spacewalk. We started with the IVA suit that we have, the intravehicular activity suit, as a kind of starting point, and looked at it and said, what would we have to change about this to be able to support a spacewalk? So the first is mobility. The crew will have to do a lot of moving around inside of Dragon to get outside and do the spacewalk. We had to add in new joints and new features in the suit to allow them enhanced mobility while the suit's pressurized.
When a crew member is pressurized in the suit, the soft portions of the suit become rigid. They need actual flexure and rotational joints to allow them to move around. It's kind of like a suit of armor made of fabric. We innovated in flexure joints to allow easy bending at the elbows and the knees, as well as a collapsible rotator joint that exists on the shoulder, which allows the suit to remain nearly fully soft, but when pressurized is a rotational bearing.
The difference between the IVA and the EVA suit is that on the IVA suit, the zipper system location is in the inseam. But since we needed to have lots of mobility on our EVA suit, that was not the preferred choice. By moving the zipper system from the inseam to the waist, we mitigated risk of the stress of the zipper.
And another big element was also the thermal side of things. The crew is obviously exposed to a much more extreme thermal environment during the EVA. So we want to make sure that the inside of the suit is comfortable for them, and that as they interface with parts of the vehicle, that is safe for them to touch as well.
The EVA suit is built and designed here at SpaceX in Houghton, California. We wanted to have something that's easy manufactured that we can handle here in-house. So we developed this new material, so it's fabric-based.
We actually added a new layer to the suit, which we refer to as the Faraday layer. And this is a conductive cage around the suit that shields the suit from external electric fields.
The helmet on the EVA suit looks very similar to the IVA suit, but it is really an all-new design of that helmet. It's much more robust from a thermal structural perspective, since it will be taking more extreme temperatures.
We are really excited to introduce this new single-pane visor helmet to the world of spacesuits. The EVA suit visor is made of polycarbonate and is coated with copper and ITO, or indium tenoxide. These two coatings together reflect the sun away from the crew, as well as reflecting infrared heat back to the crew when they are facing deep space. Our suit has a HUD, or heads-up display, which is a small display screen in the helmet, which is transparent, which allows the crew to see through the display to have unfettered access during their EVA, but it also provides critical telemetry to the crew, so pressure, temperature, relative humidity.
We're trying to improve the technology and streamline it in one way, and at the same time, we're also trying to get it more and more manufacturable with each generation. The ultimate goal is that you can put on a spacesuit and go out and get work done anywhere in the solar system and not feel like you're wearing anything more than you normally wear every day. We're trying to improve the technology and streamline it in one way, and at the same time, we're also trying to get it more and more manufacturable with each generation. The ultimate goal is that you can put on a spacesuit and go out and get work done anywhere in the solar system and not feel like you're wearing anything more than you normally wear every day.
Once we start the suit pressurization, you're going to hear almost like a sound. That's just the air starting to flow into their suits. How loud does it get inside your suit?
It actually is quite loud. That airflow is just constantly, which is a good thing, right? Because not only is it providing you the oxygen, but it's also helping get rid of that CO2 that you're breathing out. So you want that airflow to be constantly going. And so you always are hearing that fan that's making that happen, and so that is certainly pretty important. And the Vox thing, I got to say, you know, it's nice that you don't have to push a button when you're outside there to talk.
Dragon SpaceX, we're about 90 seconds from EVA initiation.
Got some fist bumps going on.
Yeah.
And we just heard we're about 90
Now with
seconds.
their visors down, the EVA has begun. We are beginning to flow that O2 through. Now, we will, of course, bring these views to you as we have them, but due to ground station coverage, they do come in and out here and there. But every moment that we can, we will. And then when they're in shadow, it'll help keep them warm. So,
and it's also like your sunglasses as well.
Yeah.
Right? Serves that purpose.
All right, so at this moment, the suits are getting their primary pressurization. This takes about 3.5 minutes, a little bit less, and then we're going to go through those actual suit leak checks. The crew will probably get a reminder they have to stay really still when we do those leak checks, and I always was kind of wondering, like, why the heck? And like, if you bend your arms, you're actually going to start, you know, changing the volume inside the suit. That'll cause pressure spikes, and so
that's right.
You got to stay really still.
Yep.
Into space.
So we saw some motion on the hatch. Again, he's just giving it kind of that initial tug. And then Sarah gets to push the button to swing that hatch open.
Much more movement there on the forward hatch. This must be pretty exciting for Jared because that center part of
Dragon SpaceX, that's a good brace. We're going to have you repeat the operation.
Center of the hatch actually has a window.
SpaceX, the hatch is unseated.
Copy.
Give it another pull. The hatch is several inches inside turn. Okay, right.
Copy. We see it.
Looking out that tiny window there in the forward hatch, knowing he is going to have a much bigger window in just minutes.
Can you command open forward hatch? This is going to stall it open.
And there is our first view of the forward hatch, wide open to space.
Forward hatch. Execute.
If you just jumped in, we are 38 minutes into today's spacewalk, and the hatch is open on Dragon. First view from a helmet cam, looking out.
Dragon SpaceX, we see it stalled. EV1 is go to continue.
That structure you see there is...
Check for egress. ED1, good. SpaceX ED1, I'm transitioning back from under the displays.
SpaceX copies. We're with you in your helmet cam.
Once again, this helmet cam, that structure we see is the spacewalker. This is Jared now egressing through the forward hatch of Dragon Resilience. These are the first views of the first ever commercial spacewalk.
I'm at the bottom of the mobility aid, progressing.
I have a feeling the crowd is about to go wild.
Good call. Approaching the top of the mobility aid. SpaceX. Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world. Nice, SpaceX. ED1, I'm going to step into Test Matrix 1. Single-handed mobility demonstration.
Commander Jared Isaacman now emerging
Copy,
from...
we're with you in Test Matrix 1, watching from the nose cone.
Up, down, left, and right are threes. Pitch and roll are 3. Yaw is a 2. Switching. Single-handed operations are fine. Static and with dynamic disturbance. Switching to left hand. Up, down, left, and right are 3s, maybe a 2. Pitch is a 4. Roll is a 2. Yaw is a 2.
So these are the suit mobility checks that Jared is
Single-handed
performing.
operations, dynamic and with disturbance are all adequate. Test Matrix 1 complete. HUD check, 5.3 PSI, 48% RH, 33.9 Celsius.
SpaceX copies Test Matrix 1 and HUD readout.
Crew ops check, EV1's good. EV1 good. Part 2 good. Okay, stepping into vertical translation. We're going to start with the horizontal bars. All right, we're going to transition over to vertical. I'd say vertical and horizontal are equally workable, slightly favors horizontal. I'm going to do a max reach. Left hand's at the top of the mobility aid. At the midpoint. You have good video?
We just lost our live video, but stand by 1.
Okay, switching over to max reach, switching hands. Copy that, SpaceX. I'm holding up at the max reach.
And EV1, go ahead and continue the operation. We'll let you know we're back on with live video.
Copy that. And for your awareness, max reach, left aid, and the mid bar. Match test matrix 2 is complete. HUD readout, 5.3 psi, 33.9 Celsius, 50% RH.
Copy, test matrix complete and HUD readout.
Crew op check, EV1's good. EV2's good. We're good. Part 2 good. Stepping into test matrix 3, hands-free demonstration.
EV1 SpaceX for ingress time.
Go SpaceX.
Recommended ingress time of O2 flow plus 47 minutes.
Copy that. Ingress time, 47 minutes.
And Dragon, we're back on live video from the nose cone.
Copy that, SpaceX. And SpaceX EV1, I would say the hands-free demonstration is very comparable to the trainer in terms of the foot restraints.
SpaceX copies. And EV1, when you have time, if you'd like to return to the reach demonstration, we'll take a look at that with the live video.
Copy that. Test matrix 3 is complete. The HUD readout is 5.3 psi, 47% RH, 33.8 Celsius, and stepping back into max reach.
Copy, test matrix 3.
And as you can see, top of the mobility aid. And let's get a quick crew ops check. EV1's good. EV2's good. I'm good. Part 2 good. Copy that. Okay, max reach, whether it's left or right hand, seems to be about the same. Top of the mobility aid, and then the mid-road.
Copy, we see it.
Checking up from the bottom. Any go back, SpaceX?
Negative. We got about 1 minute until EV1 ingress.
Copy that, 1 minute. It's gorgeous. You want to see the guys to get the umbilical and run his right foot.
EV1, we're checking out your helmet cam now.
Well, I'm checking out your nose cone right now. And looks pretty good.
Copy, we'll return to nose cone. See you looking at us.
All right, we're coming up about that O2 flow timer time. Crew check for ingress. EV1's good. EV2's good. Too good. All right. SpaceX EV1, congrats for the huge team effort that it took to get us to this point. We know it's just the start. And I'm transitioning back into the vehicle. And SpaceX EV1, just taking a quick look here at the hatch shields. From what I can see so far, they look pretty good.
Copy on the hatch seals and stand by for transition to 3-off reset.
Copy that, SpaceX. Good. And EV1 is clear.
All right, so Jared back inside. We heard him going through what's called the test matrix. It's basically just a bunch of maneuvers using different hands, using the foot mobility.
3-off reset is in progress.
Calling out numbers. Right now, though, we're doing, you just heard Arthur call up 3-off reset. So we didn't use any of the forward thrusters while Jared was out there. We're re-enabling them, putting us back in our perfect attitude before Sarah gets ready to go out the door. Fun thing to note, it's still not a perfect vacuum inside a Dragon. It's an open loop system, so oxygen is kind of getting dumped into the cabin as this is going on. So you got a higher pressure in Dragon than you have outside. So we're not worried about thruster pluming.
Yeah, now you mentioned Sarah, just like Jared, she will have 10 to 15 minutes outside, perform those same sets of mobility tests as Jared. Like we heard the Corps do with EV1, they will call out when there's 1 minute remaining.
SpaceX, attitude reset complete. EV2, go for egress.
There's Sarah's clear to proceed.
Copy. Crew check for EV2 egress. EV1's good. EV2's good. We're good. What 2 good? EV2 is going to go stand in the door and then step outside.
Now this test matrix that Jared just performed and the one that Sarah's about to perform, they have both committed to memory in order to execute these. We saw it being done pretty efficiently. I can't believe how quickly that time went by. Mike, we were talking about how your spacewalks were hours and these guys only have 10 to 15 minutes and it just like that.
Yeah, it can go pretty quick, and but fortunately,
Field looks good. I see a little bit of a bulge between 14 and 13.
so you're hearing Sarah call out some more of the seal check there as she's exiting out.
It's reseated.
SpaceX copies that report. Good fix.
So this was something we knew might happen. And Sarah,
between 28 and 27.
Copy.
the crew trained on exactly what to do in this scenario. Just pop it back in.
And
Reseat
one
it.
final between 19 and 18. That might be best reseated with hatch closure.
SpaceX copies. Can you repeat the location?
After EVA complete. Between 19 and 18.
All right, copy. I'll track that and ask again when you're ingress.
Copy. EV2 is proceeding with egress.
Super exciting to see this. Our fellow SpaceXer, Sarah Gillis, now about to make her spacewalk.
EV1, I'm going to hand this back to you.
Like we mentioned, Sarah will be performing the same set of mobility tests. So we will do the same. Try to stand by and listen to those comms.
I mean, I said it before, a lot of us work here because we want to do this.
All right, stepping into test matrix 1 for single-handed mobility.
Really cool to see one of our own out there. That's awesome.
And EV2 for awareness, we're watching from the nose cone.
Copy all. I would say in all three translation axes, I'm having certainly cross-coupled movements. Forward, back, I am inducing a bit of a roll. Similarly with left, right, and up, down, a bit of a pitch, but all are achievable. Rating of 3. Yaw is a 3. Roll is a 4. And pitch is a 3. Same source for left hand. Stepping into vertical translation.
SpaceX copies. And EV2 for awareness, we're tracking an ingress time at O2 flow, 5-9 minutes.
Copy, 5-9 minutes. Horizontal bars are definitely preferred. And I'm adequately able to stabilize my body with single-hand disturbances. Clear for both left and right. Stepping into max reach, do you have visual?
Affirm, we have visual on the nose cone.
Copy from bar 4 to bar 2, from top down. And similar reach from...
We got our views back.
There they are.
It's a little sad to see that forward hatch closed again.
It's got to be really hard when they tell you it's time to go back in.
Yeah.
Just one more minute.
Yep. It reminds me of when I was a kid swimming in the pool. You know, time to get out. Just one more minute.
I mean, it speaks to the professionalism for Jared, for Sarah, for the whole crew, really.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be this is something they've been training for years, and it's got to be really hard not to go for those, that extra 30 seconds. But they're true professionals.
Yep. They know there's a timeline.
2 minutes into this, 8-minute lead check, cross check. Everyone's good. Everyone good. What you good? TPO2 just